Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have the story of about 100 passengers on a Celebrity cruise line became, well, the first cruise to come down with a mass norovirus on their cruise. We also have two cruise lines fighting it out in court, and if one wins, one cruise line could be forced to leave the United States. And then I want to laughingly laugh at myself because yesterday I had pretty much a heart attack because I lost my passport. So yesterday, the Celebrity Constellation docked in port to let her passengers off and reported out to the CDC that, they had close to 100 passengers and 8 crew members had the norovirus. Now on board, what they did is they implemented even more stringent cleaning than normal. They isolated those who were sick into their cabins, and the vast majority of course, the sickness was basically an upset stomach and diarrhea, which is the meaning of norovirus. If you've ever had it, you're just stuck in your room close to that bathroom for a couple of days normally, and not a pleasant journey. So they become the first mass norovirus of the year. Boy, it did not take long. Basically their first cruise of the year. I think it left on the 5th of January. So not very good luck for those people celebrating a cruise on a lovely ship, the Constellation, but once in a while this stuff does happen, and in case everyone blows it up that, hey, it only happens on cruise ships, remember the number 1 and number 2 places you will get norovirus, and number 3 that you will get a norovirus is not cruise ships. Number 1 is school, number 2 is hospitals, number 3 is restaurants. So yeah, cruise ships are way down on that list, but it does happen once in a while. Unfortunate for those folks. Next, we have 2 cruise lines who have been fighting it out in court, and they are now into trying to overturn an exception that already happened. One is that the maritime executive gave permission to Viking Cruise Lines to operate a ship on the Mississippi. They had to do it under an American run company, but they oversaw it. They have the ship, they own it, and the other company runs it. This is how they were allowed to operate inside American waters. But American Cruise Lines, the other river cruise company, is saying that no, because Viking still has complete control over that vessel and in everything, including being able to change the operator manager for poor performance. If they don't make their numbers, if they don't do good, they can be replaced. And they say that's enough to say that it's still Viking who controls the ship. And Viking has argued, saying, no, we would just hire another manager company. It's profitability. We can't have somebody running our ships who are not doing a good job and losing us money. We want somebody who's competent. And the judge on the original case came back and said, well, they can change it out, but they have to have a certain criteria to be able to change out that managing company. And they were pleading their case last week, and from all accounts, the judges who were overseeing this didn't seem to be buying what American Cruise Lines was saying. It's very hard to overturn other judges' decisions in court to begin with. It has to be very factual, or a very, hey, this guy completely blew it, these judges completely blew it, they don't know what they're talking about, or it has to be a politically driven agenda, like a new change in policy kind of thing. to usually get a judge to overturn a thing, especially 3 judges to overturn something. And they didn't seem convinced by American Cruise Line's argument about them having full control over that vessel. And so they didn't come out with a decision yet, but it wasn't looking good for American Cruise Lines. I keep saying airlines. But if American Cruise Lines were to win that suit, then it's quite possible that Viking Mississippi would have to leave. And the Viking would not be able to operate in the Mississippi anymore. That would be a real turn of events once you've been there and been sailing for a while to all of a sudden not be there. And I can see why American Cruise Lines has the vast majority of ships. In fact, they're bringing out 3 or 4 or 5 in the next 2 years. And their ships are beautiful, but so is this Viking ship. I was just looking at pictures of it. It looks quite beautiful for a river cruise in the United States. It looks like a very first-class run, beautiful looking ship, and who knows, it might be tempting to get on her too. I also want to get on American Cruise Lines. I want to do a couple river cruises here in the United States and check out some of the places in the mid-United States that I've never been before. I've always been coastal because I always do it when I'm heading to cruises, as is my lot in life. Okay. Let me tell you about my heart attack situation yesterday, but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising. How about the fact if you had booked a Viking River cruise and this court case comes down and all of a sudden that ship's no longer there? You might not have that cruise anymore. News like this that we will keep you up to date. Also, if you're on the Constellation today, did you know they had a big norovirus outbreak yesterday? Well, you do now if you watch this video. So keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the good stuff to the bad stuff. I try and keep it as lighthearted as possible. And yeah, we got some big cruises coming up in the near future, including the brand new Icon of the Seas, Regent 7 Seas, and then the Sun Princess, all coming up within the next 30 days. I am so excited. Okay, enough of that. Oh, by the way, yeah, well, if you do click it, just be known that I really, really do appreciate it, because it really does help the channel out. All right, let's talk about my idiotic mistake yesterday. Yesterday, my niece came over with my nephew and their son, and they surprised me with a new present. Now, I'm going to show you that present on my Just On channel, along with a bunch of other stuff from back there that I'm preparing to do. But let's just say that when they were coming in, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to grab my passport and start entering some information on some of my upcoming cruises. I've done my first 2, but I didn't do my 3rd one yet. So I reached to where I normally keep my passport, which is right here in this drawer beside my desk. The minute I come back from a cruise, I don't unpack anything. I take off my shoes, my jacket, I take out my passport, and I put it in this drawer. And then I walk around the house and do other stuff. That's my lot in life. So I know my passport's there every single time. Yesterday, it wasn't there. And I said, well, I was just entering some information last week on, to get my visa, my travel visa, stuff like that. And so I went through everything on because I had piles of papers from different months of different people cruising, and it's all here. And I have a pile waiting to be paid, or waiting for approval to be booked, new bookings, group cruise, that kind of thing. And so I had these piles out, so I said, I must be mixed up with these. And I took everything apart on my desk. Not there. And so I said it must have fallen on the floor. So I checked it under my desk, underneath the carpet, underneath my stand that holds my printer and bookcase. I started checking everywhere. And I said, well, there's no way I kept it in my backpack. I went to my backpack, checked it just in case, where I keep my passport. It wasn't there. I leave on Friday next week, so 6 days from now. I was panicking because there's no time to get a quick passport if I lost my passport. Then I had to think, what was I doing with my passport? I was getting my visa. And then I looked over at my printer and it dawned on me. I had to scan my passport and send them a scan for my travel visa. And so I lift up the top of my printer, and sure enough, there was my passport underneath. And now, guess where it is? It's right in my drawer, where it should be. But boy, was I was perplexed. I had no idea where my passport was. Have you ever had a moment like that, where you know it should be here, and you just could not picture anywhere where it could possibly be? I was freaking out. Meanwhile, my niece and nephew and everybody was here, and they were bringing me this beautiful gift that I'll show you at another video, and I was half in my head still, I want to go look for my passport because I was freaking out, but I tried not to show it. But yeah, has it ever happened to you? Leave a comment down below, because yeah, it happened to me yesterday. Just to show you, no matter how experienced you are at traveling, you still have those freak out moments. Well, I hope you appreciate this little video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.